Welcome to this gentle practice for your spine and your lovely low back. Just set yourself up comfortably and take a big inhale with me, a big exhale. Let yourself land. Another big inhale, and a cleansing exhale. Just arrive into this moment. Feel the lift through your whole spine, the lift of your chest. Notice if there's an area that feels achy anywhere, maybe around the low back, and gently place your palms there without overthinking it, wherever you feel tenderness, wherever you feel that your body needs more attention. And now let the warmth of your hands just soothe your body, signaling to your body that you're here to take care of it for the next little bit. You're here to breathe into that area for the next little bit. Slowly return your hands and ease yourself down onto your spine. Lie down on your back. Place your feet flat on the mat once you're on your back. Walk your feet wider to the edges of your mat. Your knees slightly fall in. If you're comfortable to put your hands on your low abdomen, do that. Now breathe into your palms or breathe into your belly. Relax that area. Draw your right knee into your chest. Lace your hands around your right shin. And option to extend your left leg down on the ground. Keep a little flexion through your feet, spread your toes. Anchor your shoulder blades down. And feel especially your heart and right up into your chest, receiving more breath. A little deeper hug in as you exhale. Extend your right leg straight up into the sky. Interlace your hands behind your right hamstrings. Actively push your leg into your hands and resist by trying to pull your leg towards you. Press your leg out into your hand. And now kick your heel up to the ceiling. Flex your toes strongly towards your face. This helps you access your Achilles. Point your toes now. Go in the opposite direction. Point, and kind of access the muscles around the shin. Big breath. Go in the opposite direction. Flex your heel up. And now point your tippy toes. And we'll finish the last couple breaths, flexing the ball of your foot up while your toes curl back towards you. Can you keep your tailbone lengthening down into the floor? Can you soften across your face? Rebend your right knee, plant your right foot on the floor, and now left leg bent, left foot flat. Big breath here. Switch sides. Take your left knee in, interlace your hands around your left shin. You can stay exactly like this, or walk your right foot away from you so your right leg is actively pushing down into the ground. With every breath out, draw your navel in. And feel your inhales help to broaden your mid-back into the floor. Send a lot of breath into the backs of your ribs. And this is a way to stretch the left glutes, and you might feel a little stretch along the right quads. Releases the low back. And reach your left leg up, lace your hands behind your left hamstrings. Simultaneously try to pull your top leg in, but push your leg back into your hands. Now kick your heel up as though your heel was going to push up on the sky faster than the ball of your foot. Big breath. Point your tippy toes up like you're wearing stilettos. And then let's do that again. Your heel up, flex toes towards shin bone. And feel your breath in and out as you point your tippy toes up. And see, even though we're kind of finding little movements here, the rhythm of the breath is steady and strong. And before we complete our time in this pose, flex the ball of your foot up, 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 up. Spread your toes. One more breath. And tenderly hug both knees into your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins or wrap your forearms around your shins. And lean a little more towards your right hip. Sway to the right a bit for a big breath. And let yourself tip a little more to the left, over to your left hip for a full breath, hugging knees in. Again, over to the right. Feel your left hip lifted a fair bit. And over to the left, big, big breath. Kind of like you're massaging out your low back, massaging out your glutes side to side. And final hug in through the center. Keep your chest broad. And take your knees quite wide now, so your hands are still holding onto your kneecaps. Knees go as wide as you can. Draw your breath low into your pelvis. Return your feet flat onto the ground. Roll over to one side. Onto hands and knees. Line up your hands under your shoulders. Line up your knees underneath your hips. Look between your hands. Chest reaches forward. So these are going to be cat-cows without arcing your upper spine. Just send your tailbone up as you inhale. Tuck your tailbone in. Look between your hands as you exhale. Inhale your tailbone up. As you tuck your tailbone in, stretch your chest forward. Do that again. Adding in the chest. Inhale, arc your spine, look up. Exhale, round your spine, look towards your belly button. Again, inhale, arc your spine. Exhale, round, duck your chin into your chest. Feel free to go at any other pace. Inhale to arc. Exhale, round, maybe lean back a little bit. Inhale, chin up, maybe look up. Keep going, so sweet, so therapeutic for the spine. Remember that little spot where your hands were on your body or on your low back. Thinking kindness towards that spot. Let's land in child's pose. Whenever you feel like it's time for you, meet me in child's pose. Option to stack your hands under your forehead or crawl your arms out in front and have your forehead on the mat or on the ground. Allow yourself to release completely with each exhale. So it could be releasing something physical with every exhale, or a little more emotional. Option now to tent up on your 10 fingertips in child's pose so your elbows are lifted and you can crawl your fingers a bit further forward. Push through your fingertips, pull your butt back towards your heels just to get a little more extension. Now walk both hands over to the right, off your mat, maybe to the right. You play around with how far over to the side you go. Give your whole left side full breaths. For me, I have my forehead hovering a little bit. Sometimes I have my forehead on the ground. There are many ways you can do this. I'll try to offer lots of options throughout the class in every pose. As you breathe deeply, your hands can crawl through center and over to the left. Your hands just might be a little to the left or pretty far off your mat to the left. Just play around with what works so that you feel something in your body that you're breathing for, but you're not straining. You're not overexerting. Give yourself another full, deep breath. Remembering this place in your body that you're giving attention to today. And then come on back up on to hands and knees in the center. Lift your right leg up behind you. Cross your right foot off your mat to the left. And then take your right hand and walk it forward about 3 or 4 inches. Look over your left shoulder so that you can see that crisscrossed foot off your mat behind you. Now press your right hand, wedge it down and forward into the ground, keeping your right leg pretty straight up. Your right inner thigh lifted, and breathe through your whole right side. It might not be about finding the deepest stretch for you today, depending upon, how creaky your body feels, right? Just know that every breath really counts. Every breath. We're going to switch sides, so you'll come to hands and knees. And then from there, lift your left leg and cross your left foot off your mat to the right. Crawl your left palm forward several inches. Peek over your right shoulder. And in fact, take your left shoulder forward to your left ear. Give your whole left side the biggest breaths you can. Don't worry about the biggest stretch. Focus more on the biggest breaths. As you look forward, you can walk your left hand back and then replace your left knee beside your right knee. From hands and knees, simply place your right foot between your hands and walk your left knee back a little. Climb your hands up onto your right thigh so you're up in a lunge, a pretty stable lunge with hands on thigh. Just assess that your front knee is over your front ankle. Ground the inner edge of your front foot, and you could absolutely stay right here. Or you could just lift your left arm straight up and side bend over to the right, keeping both shoulders back and down. A little hug in of your low abdomen, and a lot of breath down the left side. Breathe into how your body feels in this moment rather than how you wished it would feel. Return your hands onto your front thigh and just start to lean back. Lift your upper chest. Arc your upper spine a touch. A little deeper in your front knee. Slowly land your hands so that they frame your front foot. And wiggle your front foot forward a couple inches. Pop up onto your front heel for little half splits. Flex your toes towards you. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, bow over your front leg. Let's do that again. Inhale to lift up, broaden your chest, shoulders back. And as you exhale, bow, keeping your shoulders back. Again, inhale, flat back, stick your sitting bones back. Exhale to fold. Allow yourself to enjoy a couple more breaths in stillness in your fold. Dig your right heel into your mat as though you're trying to make a little hole into your mat. And just be sure that your spine is long. Might mean you're not folding quite as low. Now, for the last few breaths here, option to remain folding directly over your right leg, or we're going to go a little deeper into the outer hips, outer hamstrings. You can walk your hands over to the right, any amount outside your right leg, and then sway your hips to the left a lot, and bow your upper body to the right with an open chest. And if this one feels a bit awkward, it's meant to. Those muscles around the outer hip, they get pretty stuck, right? And when we open them up, we actually create more space into the low back. And gently walk back to center. And now flex up through your front foot, just a couple breaths in an awkward pigeon. As you let your front knee fall out to the right a little, you're just on the outer edge of your front foot. Hands walk forward. Really bend your front knee. And then just pulse back, pull your pelvis up and back, and then come forward, sink your hips quite low, and tip side to side. So we're just finding movement in the pelvis. Let your hips sweetly sway left to right. Go nice and slow. And just get clear on what's happening around your entire hip socket. Okay. Come back to hands and knees. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, round your back like an angry cat. Draw your navel up. Inhale, arc your spine as your belly softens down. Exhale, round. So again, really simply opening the front of your spine, opening the back of your spine with breath, right? Always the key ingredient in this amazing practice. Find a neutral spine and step your left foot between your hands. Just wiggle your foot forward enough so that it's between your hands. Place your left hand upon your left thigh and then your right hand upon your left thigh. So you're rising up, a nice tall spine. Give yourself a moment to get steady here. Stabilized through your legs and your feet. Feel free to stay right here or reach just your right arm up beside your right ear. Take a little side bend up and over to the left. Knowing that in so many ways, taking it small is a good thing, right? These little steps, but consistently, like showing up as often as you can, but taking it small is great. Be mindful of every inhale and exhale you take. Be kind towards yourself and to this side of your body. Be kind. Come back with your hands on your front thigh. Bring a lot of weight into your front foot and start to lean back away from your front thigh. Lift through your upper chest. Big breath up into your heart. Nice and slow, bring your hands down on your fingertips. Half splits. Scoot your front heel forward and pop up on your heel. Flex your toes up towards the sky. Let's find those pulses. Inhale, a flat back. Exhale, bow up, over, and down your left leg. Again, inhale, lift. As you fold, aim your chest to your front ankle. One more pulse like that with your breath. And the next time you fold, remain in this fold. Noticing how the muscles in the back of your left leg feel without attaching to any additional story around those lovely muscles, just give them a lot of breath. Really strong flex in your front foot. Option to remain folding over your left leg, or you could take your hands and walk them outside your left leg. And if you have blocks, you might use them, or you be up on your fingertips. Sway your tailbone even more to the right. Turn your outer right hip forward a lot. And for me, I actually like to take my left toes and turn them about 20 degrees to the left as well, just on the heel though of the front foot. And now big, big breaths into all that you're feeling without judgment. We're here to heal. We're here to change the relationship that we have with our bodies. So lots of breath and kindness. Bring your hands back to either side of your left foot and lift the toes of your left foot. Roll to the outer edge of your foot so that your knee falls out to the side. And then take your hips way back, almost like you're straightening your front leg, and then really bend your front knee, sink your hips forward. Do that again, tip back, really bend your front knee. Give yourself permission to find movement with your hips, forward and back, and then left to right. So I'm a believer that movement is a great thing, just so long as you're doing it mindfully and slowly, in this class especially. Just taking care of that lovely spine of yours with slow movements. Come to hands and knees and walk your hands forward a couple inches and walk your knees back a couple inches. Take your forearms down onto the floor and your forehead down so that your hips are over top of your knees in space. Maybe shimmy your knees back a little more. And now as your forearms really dig down, your palms dig down, let your hips pull back even further away from your elbows. Can you breathe wider out into your side ribs? Can you feel your breath swirling around your armpits? Can you remember that what you're feeling is okay? What you're feeling is temporary. Even every single breath you take is temporary. Now, as you lift your head and walk your hands towards you, I'll ask you to tuck your 10 toes under and sit back on your heels. If it's not going to work for you to have your toes tucked, you can have your toes pointed. You could always sit on your bum, sit cross-legged instead. Please make your legs comfortable. And with a tall spine, tip your right ear over to your right shoulder, breathing for the left side of your neck. Lift your chin about an inch so that your left eye can almost look up at the ceiling. Turn your chin down to your right armpit. Look down towards your right thigh if you can see it, just a little bit. Roll your chin down to your chest and over to the other side so that your head is hanging over to the left now. Lift your chin a little for a breath. And turn your chin down to your left armpit for a breath, like your chin is tucking down to your left collarbone. Just do that again. You can lift your chin again for another breath. Move really slowly. Be sweet towards that neck of yours. When we release the neck, we're actually giving the low back some reprieve as well. There's fascia in the body that actually runs down the length of the back, right? All from the back of the neck all the way down to the low back. So with your chin tucked, just rock your chin side to side for a breath. Move with care now onto your back. How we began class, lying down. Yes, feels so good to lie down. Also great when the low back is inflamed or any part of the spine is inflamed to lie down with the feet flat on the ground and legs bent, hands on your belly. Big, big breath. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh for thread the needle. Maybe just remain like that, or you can pick up your left foot and clasp your hands behind your left hamstrings. Imprint your shoulder blades down into the mat. Feel your breath rise up into your upper chest. Sweetly send your right knee away from your right shoulder. Notice how your hip responds when you give it all your focus and all your breath. And take your time, maybe enjoy another breath and release your left foot down. Keeping the number 4 legs, we're going to tip the legs all the way over to the left. It's not quite a twist. Have your right foot flat on the ground, right knee pointing up to the ceiling, and reach your right arm back alongside your right ear on the floor. Now you'll see my left hand is gripped around the front of the right shin, but you don't have to. Just want you to have your right foot on the ground as you press your top knee away from your face and stretch your right arm back in space. So again, we're targeting the low back here by doing some outer hip opening. This one is also really good for the front of the right hip bone, all the little muscles that get stuck there. Mindful breathing. Make more space in the tight spots with mindful breathing. No rush to untangle yourself so that your feet are flat on the mat again, legs are bent. Setting up for the other side, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And if you did pick up both feet, you can, and you can lace your hands behind your right hamstrings here. As your hands pull your right knee towards your right shoulder, let your left knee push away from your left shoulder. And of course, you'll notice your hip right here. I mean, this is the practice. It's right here. We can't not be present with our bodies the more we show up to our mats. So yes, be present with your hip. And yes, do offer some kind attention to that place where you had your hands when we first began class, and maybe notice if anything has shifted there. And then just release your hands so your right foot comes down on the floor, and we're going to set up for that semi-twist. Tip your legs all the way over to the right so your left foot is flat on the ground, and stretch your left arm back beside your left ear on the ground. Have the intention of trying to bring your left bum down onto the mat. It won't touch though, but have your left hip dropping down. Extend your left arm further back behind you on the floor. Left knee pulls away from your face. Enjoy your breath. Right, that sweet joy of giving yourself attention, kindness, that sweet joy of just slowing down. And come back with your feet flat on the mat, maybe hands on low belly, deep, deep breath, noticing how your back feels. Reach your legs straight up to the sky. A really good bend in your knees just so that your quads or your thighs aren't gripping. Assemble your arms in any position you'd like. Feel your thigh bones dropping down into your hip sockets. Feel all the tension dissolve from your face. Option to remain like that with your legs up, or you can bend your knees wide out to the sides for happy baby pose. Your feet flexed up as though they were going to push on the ceiling. Your knees quite wide and your feet as wide as your knees as well. And me, I love rocking side to side on the low back really slowly. Now, if your low back feels a little bit tricky today, then you just stay in the center maybe, or you can rock side to side. Breath is what matters. Couple more clearing breaths here. Feel your low back decompressing. Feel your inner thighs releasing. And place your feet flat on the mat once more, maybe hands on low belly. Nice long, drawn out exhale. It's time to let go. I would recommend feet as wide as the mat, your bent knees slightly knocking in. I love to have my arms cactused at my sides just to invite in an opening across the armpits and chest. And now we let go and trust that the work has been enough. Trust that your body knows how to integrate this good work that you've